Quinnipiac poll shows most Americans believe homegrown jihadists are the greatest terror threat to the United States. The poll compared them with radicalized foreign visitors and terrorists hiding among Syrian refugees. CBS News senior security contributor Michael Morell is a former CIA deputy director. Good morning.
Good morning.
What questions should we be asking at this moment?
So, Charlie, I think the most important question, the most urgent question is, were they working with anybody else? Are there any other co-conspirators out there? This is an awful lot of weapons for just two people. So that's the most important question for the FBI to run down now. The other questions are, what did he do in Saudi Arabia? Who did he meet with? More importantly, what did he do in Pakistan? Did he actually get training to do something like this? And then the final question is, what motivated them to do this particular event rather than something else?
And what else might they be planning to do?
Exactly.
What does your expertise tell you, though, Mike, about what happened here? Because they did the shooting at the center, and then went home, and yesterday police found quite an arsenal at their place.
Right. So I'm speculating right now, but my expertise tells me that they were radicalized. They were radicalized by either ISIS or Al-Qaeda, not necessarily just ISIS. They were planning something big or a series of events. They may not have been planning this particular event, right? That they may have gone to this party, got angry, decided to do this event based on that anger rather than based on a series of plots that they were actually planning.
What do you think happens next in terms of tracking down, as we've reported, that he was in contact with a person we believe has ties to terrorism here in the U.S.?
I want to know what those conversations were, what was actually being said, who that person was. I also want to know the same thing about his reported communications with people overseas.
And if we had this person that has suspected ties to terrorism under surveillance, why didn't our intelligence or law enforcement know about Mr. Farouk and his wife and what they were doing?
There's a lot of people, there's a lot of Americans who are communicating with ISIS, reading ISIS propaganda, even communicating with them on Facebook and Twitter. Too many people for the FBI to surveil and follow up on. I mean, there's a lot of Americans out there.
What number are we talking about?
Thousands.
This is the question I asked the president.
Thousands.
In 50 states, we have open investigations into ISIS sympathizers.
Yes.
Think about that.
Yes.
Why is there a reluctance to call this terrorism right now? What more do we need to know before it can be officially called terrorism?
As odd as this sounds, it's possible they were terrorists, but this was not terrorism.
This event was not.
This event
massacre
was not, right? And what it depends on is what was their motivation for doing this, right? Was the motivation to do this to be part of Al-Qaeda and ISIS and sympathize with them, or was this because you were mad at your coworkers?
You would think, though, if that was the issue, they would have just killed one or two rather than as many as they could.
Right. They shot their managers first.
Right.
Michael Morell, thank you so much.
Welcome.